Okay.
Okay, we're live. Yay.
Hi.
We're here, but we're late. We're trying to figure this out. It did not want to let me into a computer that wasn't mine. Let's see.
Uh-huh.
Aiden. Okay. I am going to go.
You can click live now?
Yeah, you could. Well, let me go real quick since everybody's on. Look at my Cortland says YouTube won't let me watch your lives. I'm like, you're supposed to be in school. Hey guys, we finally got live going. So either head over to Harben House on Instagram or Mandy Davis MUA on YouTube, and let's get this started.
Okay. Go live.
Sorry guys that we were a little late. We're trying to figure out Instagram over here, YouTube over here. So I know y'all are gonna be patient with us. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and get started just for sake of time, and then it will be saved on YouTube. And I don't know if, will you save it on your IG?
Yes, it'll go to the IGTV.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. We are doing a makeup look using all Jane Iredale. And I try to pick out a few products that maybe you haven't seen used in a specific way, or maybe that Courtney hasn't used in a specific way. And we're just going to do a really fun, cool tone, springy look. Okay. All right. Let's get started.
All right.
Okay. So she's already prepped her skin with moisturizer and everything. So I'm going to go in with the Golden Shimmer Face and Body Lotion. And I use this myself. I don't think you've ever used it, have you, as a primer? So I'm going to use this as a primer today. I have actually never used it on my body, but I love it as a little bit of an illuminating primer. So it comes out pink. But don't let that like scare you, because it blends in fairly, really clear. I'm going to put this all over Courtney's skin. I'm even going to take it a little bit up under the eyes. And we're going to use that as a primer. So while I am doing this, if you are joining us on live, both Instagram or YouTube, let us know any questions that you may have about Jane makeup, any products that you love, any products that you want to try, because we also have Mike with us today behind the camera.
Hello.
And he is the Jane rep for Harben House. So he is the answer person for all questions that Courtney and I may not be able to answer about Jane products. And he's also going to like just kind of view the comments and stuff, because it's not easy for me to like look at comments. So hello to everyone that I have not been able to say hello back to. Okay, so I have primed her face. It just gives a really pretty glow. Okay. It's not oily looking. It's not overly luminous. Now, obviously this is face and body, so it's really pretty put on like the collarbones and the chest. If you're wearing a shirt that you kind of want to show off that area. Because I don't know about you, but my collarbones are like my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like I like it when they like
stick them out, make it real skinny.
Yes. I mean, yeah, she's just going to say like it is. Okay, so I am actually going to use a little bit of a concealer first. And this is the most exciting part, because this is a brand new product from Jane. It just launched, what, like 2 days ago, right? Yeah. I've been using it for a little over a week every day, and I love it. This is the Enlighten Plus Under Eye Concealer. It's a little blown out because of the lights, but it comes in a little cooling applicator. And how many, is it 5 shades? Yeah, 5 shades. I'm using the shade number 0 on Courtney. And let me tell you, and I was talking to Mike about this last night, I think the biggest learning curve for people is that you need the very smallest amount. I'm talking like this is probably too much for both of her eyes. It is extremely concentrated. and it has SPF 30. So yay, look up for me. I like to apply this with my fingers because it is a little bit thicker. It's obviously not as thick as the potted Enlighten concealer, but it is a little bit thicker. So I like to warm it up in between my fingers like this and get it a little bit more emollient and then just tap it under the eye. You can see.
I haven't actually tried it yet.
It's so good. And I always say to people with the other Enlighten, I'm like, less is best. And I think that that's just something that people are going to have to realize with this, because if they go in and put it on in the amount that they would a creamier, like liquid concealer with a doe foot, it's going to be way too much. But honestly, I don't need any other kind of corrector. I mean, she didn't have like hugely dark circles anyways, but that is plenty to cover up the darkness. And I like to put this one on underneath foundation just because I feel like it's easier to kind of blend out the edges underneath foundation, but there's no right or wrong. I have been using this. I think I use number 1, which would definitely work on Courtney too. 1 has a little bit more peachy undertone to it. So if you have more darkness, then you're going to want to look at like 1 and 2 because they have the more peachy color correcting attributes to them. Okay, I'm going to be using the Beyond Matte Liquid Foundation. I think this is your favorite, right? I love this so much. I love it, especially paired with the Golden Shimmer Face and Body Lotion. I know people are kind of like, well, what's the point in putting something illuminating in the matte? This is not flat matte. It is not going to make you look like totally one-dimensional. It has more of like a satin matte finish to it. So I'm using the color M7 on Courtney. I just pumped way too much out on my hand. When I use this, I can use half a pump for the coverage that I want. You don't need a ton at all. And I'm just going to start in the center of the face and work my way out. And you're going to see how far such a small amount goes. And my daughter keeps messaging me saying, why can't I watch your videos? Like my watch won't stop going off. I'm like, I don't think your teachers will appreciate it. So that tiny, tiny amount basically got her entire half of her face.
It looks good. So you usually pump it on your hand first? I
do, because I feel like if I pump it directly onto the skin, I'm going to use way too much. I also, for me, I can dot it on the face and then go in because I know how much to use. But when I'm working on clients, I like to put the brush into the product and then use it, because I feel like, again, I use less, and less is always more. It's always easier. I kind of say it's like clothes. It's always easier to put clothes on when you're cold than it is to take them off when you're hot and still be decent. It's easier to put makeup on if you need it versus taking it off if you've applied too much. And I didn't put any kind of concealer on underneath on her face because I knew the kind of coverage that this foundation had. And again, it would just be too much. People ask me all the time, do you put concealer on the face before or after foundation? I personally always do it after, because foundation a lot of times covers way more than I think.
Okay, so everyone's saying on here that we need to adjust the camera.
Oh, why? Why do we have to adjust the camera?
Or zoom the face. Setup is not showing much.
What? Please adjust the camera higher to see meaning. Well, y'all don't need to see my face.
Here, I can back up.
I think they're wanting you to come in. Yeah, Gretchen, it's going to be harder to see my face because then it would be farther away from her face, just with the way the setup is with the chair. I'll try to bend down as much as I can. It's fine. Let us know if we need to change something, because we're kind of figuring this out in this setup as we go.
Mandy and I are both not the techiest.
Yeah. I'm like, I bet to sent me through so many verifications just to even use a computer that my Google account wasn't used to. So we were lucky to get on at all. Now I'm going to take it a little bit on the chin. She's got a high neck, so I don't really need to worry about taking it down the neck and chest because it's not going to be shown.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like my actual like anatomy.
No.
I was like, I've never heard that before, but okay.
Your turtleneck. You learn something new every day,
I have
don't
a high
you?
neck.
And I'm just going to take a little bit onto the ears. I think people miss the ears sometimes. Now, if you don't have a sponge, if you are obviously working on yourself, or if you're comfortable with your makeup artist and you know she's clean, I like to rub my hands together, really get like some friction going, and then just kind of press them all over the face. It kind of helps just melt all that product in. And I'm also taking any away that's excess. It's going to end up on the palm of my hands. Obviously, I wouldn't be touching all over Courtney if I thought she was not okay with it.
I'm completely, it's like a massage. I'm like,
that's right. So just, you're not going to mess it up by just pressing it in. So just like that. Now, if you had maybe some areas where you wanted a little bit more coverage, I would take a very, very, very tiny brush and pick up a little bit more of the foundation and tap it in, and then tap it in with your finger. I don't even think a lot of times, especially if you're using a foundation that has good coverage, that you need to go in with a separate concealer to do this step. May as well use the same formula that you use so that you can make sure that they blend in really nice.
Meg Kopetsky says, sending you lots of love.
Oh, thank you, Meg. So you can see how easily that blends. But when you use a small brush like this and then tap it in, you're making sure that you're not, you know, buffing it all away. If I were to go in and tap it in like this and then take my foundation brush and brush it out, I would just be brushing it away. I wouldn't be getting the extra coverage. Now, obviously, this is going to be if you really want that high coverage. If we're going every day, slap that foundation on with your fingers and go. Like, it's not rocket science. It doesn't have to be as many steps as I'm probably going to show you. I'm just trying to show you everything in case anybody has any questions about it. Yes, fingers are like, there are some of my absolute favorite makeup artists only use their hands. And I think fingers have kind of gotten a bad rep. Okay, I'm going to try something I've never tried before. I was going to use a darker shade of the Beyond Matte to cream contour and bronze, but I was just shown brand new colors, right? These are brand new colors of the Circle Delete concealers. So they're the ones that come in the dual chamber. So one's going to be more like a corrector, one's going to be more of a concealer. And I'm going to try this darker shade to kind of give her a cream contour, cream bronze situation. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Couple of questions. We were talking about the Enlighten Plus.
Yes.
The new concealer, and I answered those. They were talking about shade 1 and 2 being peachy. And
yeah.
so yes, they are peachy. Both of them. One's a natural peach, one's a golden peach. They were saying if Courtney could turn right more, that would be helpful. There are two cameras.
Yes. So, yeah. So we've got Instagram going over here and YouTube going over here. So I'm not exactly sure what right
we'll just,
we'll just kind of go back and forth.
I saw that one. I turned a little bit more this way.
Okay, so I'm gonna start out with this darker one, and I don't have a spatula with me, so I'm gonna use my finger and put it on the back of my hand. The reason I'm doing this is because I like to warm a product up that's creamy like this before I use it. Now, that's dark. So let's work on the fly here and get a little bit of that other color in with it. And see how that works. You know what? I don't have a paper towel. Are there any paper towels here?
In the bathroom. If Mike wants to grab it.
That outside, right?
Yep.
Yeah, just right across.
Okay.
So I am going to make sure I have my foundation brush in one hand when I'm doing this if I need to buff it out some, and I'm just going to kind of test the color. Okay, this is going to work. It's going to be a little bit scary at first, but it'll blend in. I like using cream products as much as possible, especially in the winter. Even though Courtney has a little bit of a more, thank you, combination skin type, I believe you said.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that using cream products is going to work, especially something that has this density to it. It's pretty dense, and I'm not using a ton, so the likelihood of it sliding off her face is very slim. So see how that just gave like structure to her forehead without putting a ton of extra product. And I'm taking the foundation brush that I just got concealer all over. I usually don't hold my brushes like this, but and just kind of buffing that edge out so it looks even more natural. So just another way to use products that you might already have. If you have a darker color, you know, people get samples all the time, like those little strip samples of foundation in colors that they'll never use, or concealer in colors. This is a great way to use those.
It looks good.
But see, that just like gave a real natural cheekbone. Now, buffing that out took a little bit of this coverage away. So just take that brush back and stick it back on, just like that. Any other questions so far?
Someone was asking how you recommend using the Palm Mist.
Oh, in every way possible. It's my favorite spray. So how I use it, I like it before foundation as kind of a hydrator if I don't really want to go in with a primer, or maybe it's been a while since I've done my skincare and I'm needing to give like a little bit of a boost to my skin before I go in with foundation. I will spray it on then. I will spray it on after foundation. I'm done with my makeup, especially if I'm using a powder foundation, because it does wonders to blend any kind of powdery look into the skin. And then I have the little mini one that I carry with me everywhere I go. And I use that all day long, every day. And that the reason it's great is because it doesn't mess up my makeup. Whether I have powder makeup on, whether I didn't set my makeup, I can spray it on multiple times a day and it's never going to take anything away. So it's another reason I love it. So hopefully that answered the question about
the
comments.
And someone else is asking, what's your favorite brush for cream bronzer?
So this one I'm using is a Real Techniques highlight brush, but anything that's dense. If you get something super fluffy, like this is one of Courtney's brushes, like that's not going to work, because we're working with creams and it's, you can't buff, pick up, blend out creams with something that fluffy. It's going to end up all over your face. It's going to look patchy. You just want something dense and synthetic. But other than that, it's really personal preference.
And then someone else on YouTube is asking, which is your favorite product from this brand?
Oh, y'all, that's like asking my favorite kid. Oh goodness, I don't know that I could pick just one. Let's see.
What about pick 3?
My 3 favorite products, the blushes, and I can't pick my favorite color, but I've done an entire video on the blushes. I swatched all but one color that I didn't have, which I promptly ordered. So now I have all of the Jane blushes. Goodness. Probably the Enlighten concealer, the new one, and it's kind of tied with the old one. I like them both. And then probably the, Liquid Minerals, the kind of foundation that looks like it's in beads, because it is so I can use it in so many ways. I use it as a primer. I use it as a light foundation. I use it just during the day. If I don't have makeup on, it just plumps up my face. There's just so many different ways to use it. So I just did a little bit of cream bronzer on her nose just to do a slight contour. Nothing huge, but just to help even it out. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on the jawline. And this is not because I think she needs to chisel her jaw. It's because I think sometimes when I put cream, bronzer, and products, it needs to be evened out. And so, to do that, I need to kind of put the product all over the face so that she doesn't kind of look like she has a floating jaw, if that makes sense. So it's not because it needs to be necessarily chiseled. It's just to me to make everything equal.
Oh, you're sweet.
Well, you know you don't need a chiseled jaw. Okay.
Someone said I look like a teenager. That's like the best thing I've heard all
You
day.
do. She's so pretty.
Oh, I can say I told everybody last night at our event that I was very surprised when I saw Mandy because she's actually the only person probably recent history I've seen that's more beautiful in person than I thought she was.
Sweet.
I was like, you look the same, but prettier.
She told me, she said, I was waiting for you to like get out of the plane and be like, does she use a lot of filters? Like, am I even going to recognize her?
I said I was just going to be curious to see if it was the same Mandy I knew.
Oh, me. Okay, so I'm going to let those cream products kind of sink in before we do anything else to the face. I'm going to take a little bit of that Jane concealer, the Enlighten plus that we use. I'm going to put a little bit on her eyelids as a primer. I get questions all the time. What's my favorite eye primer? I honestly, personally, just like using a concealer. It's just one less thing. I'm just putting a little bit of the Amazing Matte Powder on top to kind of set it. To me, it's just one less thing that I have to worry about buying. If you have super oily eyelids, you know, there's primers out there that are meant for that. But I would suggest trying your favorite concealer first, because typically if it works well under the eyes, it's going to work well on the eyelids. Now, that is not the case for everybody. I do know there are some people that have super oily eyelids, and even the rest of their face may not be as oily. But yeah.
Question: do you use the liquid eyeshadows, and do you use them by themselves for a quick look?
Oh yes, most definitely. I forgot to bring them. I travel with them, but I forgot to bring them here. The eye shears are great. Did we save that? No, because that was a Zoom call. I did a look on a Zoom with Jane and Courtney, and I just used is it brown silk?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like buffed it all over. It's one of my favorite easy smoky eyes. I think I'm still going to film that for YouTube because the effect is so pretty. But I love those for an all over look. Honestly, you could take these darker concealers. So I'm trying to give you ways to use this, even if this is not your skin tone, because both of these would be really pretty buffed over all of the eyelid for a super easy smoky eye.
And someone was just asking what you used. This is
Cream
the
bronzer.
Circle Delete 4.
Circle Delete 4, sorry.
Is what we use for the bronzer.
And I mixed both of the shades. Okay, so four eyes.
What'd you call me?
I mean, I'm comfortable with you at all, but not to call you names. Okay, for her eyes, I'm going to do something pretty simple. I've never done this look before. I've never used these two products together, but when I saw them, I just thought, oh, that would be pretty. So I'm going to start off using an eyeliner, and this is actually, I believe, marketed as a lip pencil, the Aubergine.
Yes.
But you can use them on your eyes. I use Cocoa lip pencil on my eyes as an eyeliner all the time. So this color is, again, Aubergine. If you don't know, it's kind of just a really pretty purple, slight bit of, like a very slight bit of pink. It's not enough to make you look sick. So I know some people get scared and they're like, oh, I'm not going to put that on my eyes because I can't wear pinks. It's not like that's not enough to give you that sickly look. I promise. That wouldn't be very good advertisement if I made Courtney look sick. So I am just going to, do you wear eyeliner?
When I get dressed sometimes, obviously, but I try to use eyeliner.
I'm not a huge eyeliner person myself.
Sometimes I feel like it just makes me look way down and makes my eyes look small.
Well,
That's
and
why
I
don't
think
use it.
if you
And so I was asking about the Circle Delete 4.
Yeah.
It is a new shade. If it's not up on our website yet, it will be as soon as we end this.
I'm so proactive. I'm using things they don't even have on their website yet.
Well, literally, right before we started, Mike showed it to us. And he was like, these are brand new.
I know. I'm like, oh, I'll find a way to use
I
that.
was like, oh.
And then I'm just taking, this is the Angle Liner Brow Brush, and I'm just kind of pulling it up a little bit. So I'm not trying to give her this like intense wing where I'm drawing it on. I'm just pulling the product that I already have up just a little bit, because most everybody can benefit from a lifted eye. I know I have downturn eyes, and so this kind of helps lift the eye up a little bit without looking like she's wearing a graphic eyeliner. Okay, somebody asked, will you share how Harben House came to be? Well, I'm so glad you asked that, Kelly, because we just recorded a podcast yesterday where I actually interviewed Courtney. So she tells all the backstory of that. Hopefully that will be up soon. Lean this way a little bit.
And they also asked where we're located. So we're in Austin, Texas. And that is where Mandy is currently, obviously.
Yes. And I have never been to Austin before. And everybody was like, oh, you'll love it. It's just like Nashville. And I'm like, yeah, right. But it really is. It's very similar. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's just a very light eyeliner. Can you see it on yourself?
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Honestly, this could be like a go-to look. You could do this and maybe line a little bit underneath your eyes and be good to go. I'm going to take the Naturally Glam palette, which is right here. I've had a couple questions about this lately. Oh, that's from the mirror. This is a palette. All of her eyeshadow kits come with a bigger color right here, which is basically something that you will likely use the most of. Like I could have used that to set her concealer on her lids. And then it comes with 4 shades. These are all satin shades. I get a lot of questions about, well, I don't think I can use that because they're not all matte. These are so forgiving that I actually use these in my crease, where I would not say that about a lot of other satin shimmer shades. I would not feel comfortable using in my crease. These I can, because they are such a subtle sheen that you're not really going to be able to tell the difference. So I feel like they can be used interchangeably. So I personally don't feel like it's a con that none of these are true matte. Now there are all matte palettes. The Pure Basics palette and then Naturally Matte are 2 that are all matte. So you can obviously have that. I'm going to take this really pretty pink color on the Deluxe Shader brush. And I'm just going to apply that all over her lid. And it doesn't matter to me if I go over that aubergine color a little bit, because I don't want that to be like the standout. This is not like a standout eye look. This is going to be something simple to do every day. And if I was really focusing on making that liner be the standout, then it wouldn't be a simple look anymore, if that makes sense. I really just wanted the liner to be a pretty color, match the shadow that I was going to use, be springy. There's my arm. And, you know, somebody was asking about the eye shears. If you wanted to use peach silk with this look, it would look really pretty. And I know people are like, peach, but it actually has a little bit of a pinky shade to it. Okay, yeah. And then here's like a little close-up of the Naturally Glam. So it's got a really pretty brown color. This is the pink shade that I just used. A really pretty taupe color, gold, and then that all over kind of ivory shade. Now, if you want more pigment from any eyeshadow, you can always go in with your finger and pack it on that way.
And so I was asking about the base. We did already do the base. Mandy used one of the matte foundations with the golden shimmer as the...
Oh, for your face? Yes. Okay, now I'm not going to do a ton more. I think I'm going to go in with a bronzing product kind of to finish this out, but I did want it to be very simple and just kind of show a little bit of a couple of the products. What I am going to do is I'm going to take that same liner brow brush and I'm going to take the product straight from the pencil. I don't want to go straight in with a pencil, because again, I'm just trying to kind of accentuate what that shadow may have covered up. If I go straight in with a pencil again, it's going to be a little bit more than I want. So picking it up on the brush from the actual component, and this works with a pencil, it works with a lip pencil, an eyeliner, a lipstick. If you're wanting to use a lip brush and you don't want it to be like as intense, you want a more sheer application, it's a good way to ensure that.
I think I got my makeup done when I was getting married, and I think that's the only time I've ever had my makeup done.
Does it freak you out? Because I know some people are like, I do not want to get my makeup done.
No, I mean, it's actually kind of nice.
Y'all, look at the email I just got. Jane Iredale. I thought that was funny.
Meant to be.
Because I have time to do
I know. Okay, so I didn't bring a puff, so I'm just going to go back over the places that I may have put my fingers on. Any more questions? Can you mix the golden shimmer with the foundation? Yeah, I've done that before, and I like that. I don't think it's intense enough to use as just a highlight on top of foundation. I don't think you're going to get the look that you're going for. I would use one of their cream highlight sticks if that's the case, but it's so subtle that you could definitely mix it. But I don't even think if you're using it as like a primer underneath, like we did with Courtney, that you need to be specific about where you put it. I mean, it can go all over and it's not going to accentuate your pores. It's not going to, bring out anything that you don't want to bring out, because it is not glittery at all. Someone else is asking, how did Harben House get started?
Oh, yeah. Mandy and I did a podcast yesterday. She actually interviewed me. It was a little scary.
She did great.
And we talked about it, but Harben House started as a medical grade skincare line for our medical aesthetics offices that we recently sold. And now it is just strictly e-commerce. And we do medical grade skincare and mineral makeup. Jane Iredale, and we carry one other line, Osmosis.
I'm done with your eyes for this second.
Okay.
I'm just so
I was just going to sleep.
Okay, look up for me. I'm going to make sure there's no creases that have happened with the concealer.
Is this the normal face?
Yeah, trust me. It's actually a good one compared to some. And then I'm going to take the Amazing Matte Powder and lightly stipple in some powder to set that, just to ensure that it's not going to crease throughout the day. But I mean, I had very minimal amount of powder, and you can see I'm just lightly tapping it in. Instagram, I think we're not paying attention to your comments as much.
I am.
Are you? Okay.
There was one that says, I would love to have Mandy do my makeup, like every day.
Oh, see, people say that, and I'm like, I would, but then nobody wants to pay for it. I'm like, I would totally, like, local clients, I'm like, girl, I would be there every morning, but then they're like, oh, but I want it for free, and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. We all gotta work.
I gotta live. She's gotta get more flights down here.
That's right.
So she can do mine.
Come on, people, get it together.
So back to me.
Okay, so I am gonna go on to highlight and blush. We have Moonglow over here. Okay, so
someone's asking why mineral makeup is the best makeup, or why is mineral makeup good makeup?
You want to take that, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things with foundation, really makeup in general, is that traditional makeup is made with ingredients that can be toxic and harmful to the skin. So mineral-based makeup, in particular, Jane Iredale, is formulated without any harsh or irritating ingredients that are going to cause redness, irritation. They're non-comedogenic, which means they will not break you out. And so the benefit really is that it is a very clean product that is extremely effective. And
I Hi, Cortland. Sorry, my daughter's like, hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Say hi to me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I think that's so cute. So it really is, with Jane really has changed the beauty industry by doing that, by really creating a product that is going to actually improve your skin while you're wearing the makeup. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. And I mean, I can say I cannot use a lot of makeup. I have very, very sensitive reactive skin, and foundations in general. I mean, since I've been a teenager, I couldn't use any foundations that were on the market. And Jane Iredale is one of the only foundations I can use. Usually even thinking about putting a foundation on makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But I obviously can use these products with no problem.
Okay, so we are going to go into a product that I don't know that I have it, but I don't know that I've ever talked about it. And I know that we did like kind of the base of cream bronzing and contouring. It was more of a bronzer. But I am going to go over it to kind of set it down with a powder bronzer. And this is the bronzer. That's all it says. I thought it was a bigger name than that, in Sunbeam. So you can see this is like 4 different colors. I'll put it up for IG. So it's got kind of 4 lines of colors. It's got a little bit of a pinky shade, more champagne neutral, a brown, and like a terracotta bronzy. And I know people look at this and they're like, how in the world? I know when I first did, I'm like, that's not a bronzer. That's like an eyeshadow palette. But it really does work when you swirl it all together. And I just want to give her just a little bit more bronze, because to me, you can never have enough.
I'm with you on that one.
And when you swirl all these shades together, it does have a slight sheen, but it's not like you're putting highlighter on your face as a bronzer. So I'm just going to put
someone
that.
over here is asking, I know you have a good answer to this because you explained it to me before.
Uh-huh.
They said that they have used mineral makeup in the past and they find that it's drying.
Okay.
What do you advise?
So in fact, we talked about this on the podcast yesterday. First of all, look at how pretty that product is. It's just, it's almost like you don't need an extra highlight, but yeah, we're going to put an extra highlight on. But it's just, I need to pull mine out and use mine more. I don't know why I don't, honestly. Okay. So mineral makeup, I feel like, and I was telling Mike and Courtney this yesterday, I have always given it a bad rep, because I remember back in the day when mineral makeup would be like only loose, and it kind of acted like something was, I felt like it was kind of made in someone's garage, and like I would put it on and then an hour later it would be gone. It just wouldn't stick on the face. I do not feel like that at all with Jane's products, and they're not all powder. A lot of times I always think of mineral as being powder, but I mean, they've got the BB cream, the tinted moisturizer, the liquid minerals, the matte foundation. They've got a ton of liquid products that are a little less intimidating to people who maybe aren't used to using powders, who have a drier skin type, and that's why they've been put off by minerals in the past, because they don't want to add more powder onto a dry skin. They've got, minerals come in all forms, and they've got so many good liquid aspects to it. So,
and you're saying that liquid minerals have like hyaluronic acid in it.
Yes.
So it's like hydrating.
So it's like an aloe vera hyaluronic acid base, and it's got little balls of pigment in it.
I find that that's super hydrating.
It is so hydrating.
Yeah.
It just plumps. It's fabulous. This is why it's one of my top 3 favorite products. Okay, so I just bronzed her up a little bit more, gave her a little bit more of that like pretty sheen.
Is that Moonglow or Sunbeam?
No, that was Sunbeam. Now we're going in with Moonglow, which is another bronzer, but I have this in my stash and I use it all the time, but I only use it as a highlighter. And I like to use these 2 shades, lighter shades. Obviously, if you have darker skin tone, these shades will show up as a highlighter. Or if you want to use it as more of a shimmery bronzer, then that will work too. Another thing I love about these bronzers is you can use them like an eyeshadow palette. You can use all of these shades as eyeshadows. In fact, before we're done, I'm going to use one of these on her eyes. So I'm going to take,
and then this one was
that's Sunbeam, and this is Moonglow.
Sunbeam, that one's Moonglow.
So I'm going to take just from that side and the high points of her face, and then I'm going to turn the brush over, and I'm really going to buff it in because I don't want it to look like a stripe on the face. I want it to kind of blend in. And if I need to take my bronzer brush, go back, kind of blend the two colors in, you can see that now when she turns, it just hits the light, but it's not too much. Now, another one of my favorites is Allure. And this is actually a single shadow, but this is a gorgeous highlight. I'm almost done with mine. I need to take one home before I leave. So this is a single shadow. But if you have skin tone like Courtney or myself, even a little bit lighter and maybe even like a shade deeper, Allure is gorgeous as a highlight. Another way you can multi-use products. I think it's fun to really play with makeup and see how many different ways you can use one product, because there are no rules as to where you can use one thing, if that makes sense.
Jeanette Maxine says, give me all the Moonglow.
Thank you. Yes.
Linda D is from Scotland.
Ooh,
and
yes.
She says, hello, Mandy. I just came to my PC to check my YouTube.
Oh.
So
I think she's in Scotland. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Geraldine Alcala says, Courtney is such a gorgeous subject.
Isn't she? Like, it's easy. Any makeup's going to look good on her.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only other thing I have left to do on the face is blush.
Jeanette said, I need to put sunglasses on the highlighter.
I know, right? Well, to me, that means I've done it right.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not a big highlight person, you could have easily done with that Sunbeam Bronzer and stopped. That could have acted as your blush, your highlight, and your bronzer all in one. Because you could see that really nice reflection that she got on her skin when I used this bronzer. So if you're not like me and you don't like to be seen from space, then you could definitely go with this one product and get all three uses out of it. But again, I'm doing more for the sake of demonstration more than anything else, just to kind of show you what works and what doesn't. Now, for blush, I'm going to be using Clearly Pink. And I talked about this in my blush video that I did on Jane, because this is one of those colors where you open it and you're like, yeah, you're not putting that on my face. That's pink, because it is. It's like super, super pink, but it is so pretty on the skin. And so I wanted to show it to you because I know y'all have seen me use it, but I wanted to show it to you on another skin tone and just show you that it's not something to be scared of. It gives a really pretty pink flush to the skin, which I feel like in the winter, pink is just perfect because it really does kind of mimic that flush that you get when you go out in the cold weather. And it's much colder in Austin than I anticipated it being. So I didn't even pack a jacket. I got here and I'm like, so can you bring me some jackets? Because stupidly did not pack any. So this is the Dome brush. Wow, yours looks way different than mine. You put some good use into yours. She likes her Dome brush, but hey, if you have a Dome brush and it's new, it'll still work for this.
I think that's like maybe 10 years.
It'll still work. Okay, so I'm going to start like right here, right on a little bit of a higher point of her cheek, and I'm going to go all the way up because again, I'm trying to mimic that natural flush. And I like to go in between where we put the bronzer and the highlight. I'm okay if we overlap those two products. The reason I put a highlight on before a blush is because I want the highlight to look like it's coming from within. If I put it on after, I feel like you kind of lose that effect. So you can see it's such a pretty color. I'm just kind of stippling it in. Again, I'm not big on like super buffing products in because I don't want to buff it away. I want the pigment to go where I place it and stay there, and then just kind of build it up.
Cortland said that she's using your makeup right now.
Cortland, aren't you supposed to be in school? I think she has study hall right now. That's probably why she's so funny.
This is her school.
Yes. It's like, I'm learning from you, Mommy.
Which liquid minerals with pigment do you advise?
So
I think Mike might be answering that right now.
Yeah, there's if you go to the Jane Iredale website, there is a foundation finder quiz that you can click on and that will help you. It'll walk through the steps of which foundation would be best for you, based on whether your skin is dry or oily. Also, the finish that you're looking for, if you're looking for something more matte versus more luminous, and also if you prefer a liquid versus powder. And then you can go through and look at the shade options that are there. It's all part of the foundation finder quiz. That's something.
Yes, and this is the liquid minerals, if you're not sure what it looks like. So you can see those little beads suspended in the aloe vera. It's almost like a gel, and it's a little, I mean, it might weird you out a little bit when you first like pump it out, because it looks like there's no way that would blend into my skin, but I promise it does. Okay, I'm just gonna take a big duo fiber brush. I'm not putting any product on it, but this is the time where I do go in and buff. I've placed the pigment where I want it. Doing this is not gonna take it away. It's not going to move it where I don't want it. It's just going to take away all the harsh lines. It's going to make it look like her bronzer, her blush, her foundation, her highlight are all synergistically placed to just look like she's got really pretty, good skin, which she does because she uses Harben House products. So there's not too much of this that you can do. So I'm going a little overboard because I just want to show you that no amount of doing it is going to mess it up. But see, I just kind of blended everything in. Now I'm going to go back into the Sunbeam, and I'm going to take a little bit of this darker shade, and I'm going to put it into her crease just to kind of blend out where that pink shade from Naturally Glam ended. Showing you also how you can use these as eyeshadows. And then I'm going to pause, and I'm going to see how well my lovely people have listened to me in the past. What do you think I'm going to do next? It's on the eyes. What's my finishing touch? First person who gets it right, you can email me and I'll send you something free when I get home. Because I want to see if anybody's been listening. And if nobody gets it right, I may never film another YouTube video again. So while I'm finishing doing this, see if anybody will know what I'm going to do next.
I'm on the Harben House one. Under eye shading. Somebody says, okay, someone says blush on eyes.
Yes, who said that?
Melanie Shea.
Melanie Shea.
On YouTube.
Email me at my email on my YouTube description box, and I will send you something. I'm going to put some blush on the eyes. People listen. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to use the same blush that we used. I'm going to go in with a Jane Iredale crease brush because I'm going to show you why I chose this. This is the brush that I used with the Sunbeam. And then this is the crease brush. So you see how much smaller the crease brush is than this brush, because I'm not trying to put Clearly Pink all over her eyes. I want it to be very subtle, but doing this step makes a world of difference in bringing the look together. I'm holding the brush pretty much at the end because I don't want it to be a ton of pressure. And I'm just lightly sweeping that blush almost above where we put that darker Sunbeam color. And I'm just going to kind of feather it out. You can literally hear a pin drop. Okay. And yes, under eye shading, I haven't done that yet. I don't want to go super heavy. Courtney's got a little bit smaller eyes. So if I do too much underneath the eyes, it can maybe make her feel like they look smaller. That's not, obviously what we're trying to do. But I am going to go into, where did I put that palette? Oh, here it is. I'm going to go into this Naturally Glam palette, and I'm going to use this little bit of a darker shade on the eye. Is this an older brush?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it still available?
It's still available.
Okay. Because they both said eyeliner brow brush, but this is the straight one. So this is just like a very precise, look up for me. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that on the bottom lash line, only about maybe halfway in. Because again, I'm not trying to close her eye out. I just think that, y'all know, putting something under the eye really brings a look together. Yeah. And I'm not even going to really, I mean, you can go in with, oh, goodness gracious. It looks like a mess. I can't ever keep anything like together. The brush that I just used for the blush in the crease.
The crease.
Did I swallow it? Yes.
I didn't pick up on it.
In your hand. Yep, that's where it is. Okay, look up. I'm not going to put any more product. I'm just going to kind of buff that so it's not as harsh.
Oh, we have a comment and then a question. Danielle Cherry Orozco says, Mandy makes me want to follow my dream of being a makeup.
Oh my
goodness.
That's like the biggest compliment I could get.
Yeah. Follow your dream.
Yes,
Follow
girl.
your dream.
We only get one life.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question was, what about a tinted mineral sun product instead of a foundation?
So one of the good things about Jane Iredale is that the majority of their tinted products have SPF in them. Now you're gonna have to remind me the SPF quantities,
Yeah.
Mike, in your.
Yeah, so with the if you're using for all of our foundations, actually 4 of our foundations have SPF coverage in them already. So Dream Tint has SPF 15. The Pure Press Base, which is our #1 foundation product sold worldwide, has an SPF of 20. Amazing Base does as well. And then our BB cream has it's a very full coverage liquid foundation, and that actually has SPF 25. So I hope that helps, Eliana.
Okay, now I'm going to go back into this Sunbeam Bronzer, and I'm going to take this lightest color. I mean, this is making me so excited about this product because it's just, look straight ahead. I'm going to put a little bit in the corners. And then a little bit on the brow bone. We haven't done brows yet. She doesn't really need a ton for her brows. She's got really good brows naturally. So
because
I
haven't seen them on wax.
Well, because I know I'm not doing a ton on the brows, I'm going to go ahead and put the highlight up there. If I did know that I was going to have to do a lot of work on her brows, then I would have waited to do that until after I was done. Now, one thing you may have noticed is that I have set nothing on her face except for her under eyes. She has no additional powder on her face other than the blush, the bronzer, and the highlight. That is another reason I love this foundation product so much, because it is one of the few that I don't think you have to set. And I know a lot of people are not comfortable using more powder on their face. You know, I get questions all the time about is that good for mature skin? And a lot of times when people see matte, they automatically think, I can't use it, I have mature skin. But I want to let you know that I think you saw how she doesn't look flat matte. It is very, very flattering, and it does not need to be set. And all the powder products blended really well over it, which I cannot say for all liquid foundations before they're set. So please keep that in mind, because I don't know that I've ever mentioned that using this foundation, but it definitely does not need to be set. Okay, so for brows, we're almost done. For brows, yes. I'm going to be using the brow pencil. She has the color Brunette. Why does yours look so much darker? That's what I use. No, I don't. I use Ash Blonde. That's why it's darker. Okay, I use Ash Blonde. She uses Brunette. I'll show you what it looks like. Swatched. So that right there is Brunette. And then in my brows right now, I have Ash Blonde. I also have a powder. I do tend to use the Brunette powder. And do we have a powder? Brow powder with us anywhere? Do you have that?
I don't.
Okay. Well, I can just tell y'all the brow powder I actually keep in my purse because it comes with, is it 2 brushes? 2 little brushes I feel like it comes with?
1 brush.
1 brush,
With
but
2
it's
sides.
double-ended. That's why. So it's got a spoolie on one end and then a, like a slanted liner brush like I used on hers for brows. And so that way, because y'all know I have to paint mine on, like my hair stops right here. So everything back here is fake. So if for some reason I've had a really long day or I've rubbed my face and I like rubbed half my brow off, I have that in my purse at all times for emergency brow touch-ups because it's got the spoolie, the brush, everything that I need to kind of put that fake brow back on real quick. So Courtney doesn't really need that because, again, she's got great brows. So I'm just going to brush them up. And then wherever I feel like they need a little bit of filling in, I will do that.
So Danielle,
Yeah.
who wants to be the makeup artist, she
Yep.
says, I haven't purchased any Jane Iredale products yet. What would be the top 5 products you all think I should buy first? That's a great
That
question.
is a great question. And I've already told my top 3. So I'm going to let y'all answer that.
So what were you going
But the blush, the liquid minerals, which I know isn't going to work for everybody, and the Enlighten.
Blush, liquid minerals, and Enlighten. 3 very, very good ones. So Danielle, I think it would really be based on what foundation needs you had. If you had dry skin and you wanted to have something that would plump up the skin's cuticle, definitely one of our liquid foundations would be good, such as liquid minerals. If you just are looking for that semi-matte finish and you're great with powders, our #1 product sold worldwide is Pure Press Base.
Which I love.
Yes, it is great. And if you use our Smooth Affair Primer, which is our second product sold worldwide, our Smooth Affair Primer underneath a Pure Press Base with the hydration spray on top, I would say that would really be, that's the system that gets you excellent, excellent coverage. It will even out your skin tone. Again, you have your SPF 20. You have that primer that's going to provide that moisture needed to really extend the life of your foundation and moisturize your skin at the same time.
Awesome. Courtney, what are your favorites? What do you think she needs to get?
Well, I'm not a makeup artist.
But that people want to know what everyday people want.
As a non-makeup artist, easy, breezy, I like the BB cream. I think I can, even for like a no makeup day, I can put that on if I have a rep says they're coming by and I'm like, oh, I gotta just do something. So I can be like, and I can put it on my hands, I can smear it all over, make it feel like something. I really like that. And then I'll usually do that and then a blush. And so I feel like those are the really easy ones. I like the Smooth Affair eye product. Is that?
I meant to use that
primer.
on you.
The
Let me
eye
show
primer.
you. Yes.
Those are super easy. I can take the brown one or the gold one. I just put my finger and I can do it. And I can literally do my makeup in 1 minute.
Okay, so I totally meant to use this color on her because it would have gone great with what she's wearing. This is Petal, and it's just a really pretty, I mean, it's got a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's got a pinky undertone to it. So
yeah, that can actually be just a really nice smudge eyeshadow.
especially the gold and brown.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love those.
And they're quick and they stay on forever.
Yeah.
And it just gives you something to make you not look like you just woke up.
Yeah. Just makes you a little bit more alive.
Presentable.
Yes.
Danielle, we had a couple of other people chime in on Instagram and they said definitely the blushes, which Mandy, you were talking about that. Try Jennifer says try the cream eyeliner, Danielle. It's so
Yes.
The mystical.
Here,
so
yes.
yeah, the mystical.
Which are some of my, again, can be used all over for like a smoky look. I thought about using amethyst on her, but I didn't want to go too smoky today. But they look like this. I've talked a lot about them on my channel. They come like this and they're potted cream eyeliners. And then they have the brush on the top. And this brush is the same one you can buy separately, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I went and bought 2 of them separately after I tried my first one because I love it for eyeliner. So it's everything you need, and they can definitely be eyeliners or all over smoky eyes used as like a cream shadow. So definitely love those.
And to Courtney's point about not being that precise, skilled hand at being a makeup artist. I love those because you can smudge them out, but once they're set, they'll last.
Oh yeah.
Like, they'll
Oh
stay in
yeah.
place.
Look down for me. Don't close, just look down. Okay, so I am using, and this is Courtney's. I would never use the brush of something that was not hers. I have to say that because I see other artists use mascara wands, and I'm like, please put a disclaimer that you're not using that on everybody, but I think they are. I'm not. This is Courtney's. I'm pulling her brow up just a little bit. This is the Lash Conditioner. So I have sung its praises for years. I love this stuff so much. It's great as an eye primer. It is great at night. I actually have opened a tube and put it in my bathroom, and I use it at night, kind of as a conditioner to wear overnight. It's got lash growth properties in it, so it's going to help grow your lashes as well as condition them. I feel like it helps my mascara stay on longer. There's lots of amazing benefits. I mean, we'll let the expert tell us if there's anything I missed, but that's why I love it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So if you put the lash conditioner on before bedtime, it can be like a growth serum because it has panthenol and hydrolyzed wheat protein. So those are things you're going to find in some really good conditioners that help to provide nutrients to your hair. So yeah, and to that point, Selena on YouTube asked, I have super sensitive dry eyes. Will Jane's products work for me? I am searching and searching. Our makeup, in particular the eye makeup, is formulated to prevent any irritation whatsoever around the eyes. So if you get, the lash conditioner and the mascara, those are formulated without any type of petroleum or tar-based products that are going to irritate your skin. And that goes for the eye makeup as well. Shadows, powders, all of those.
You okay? You okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't particularly have sensitive eyes, but I know I have had people comment on my videos where I talk about Jane a lot that they do have really sensitive eyes and that they're able to use these products with no problem. So even though this is it's a pretty subtle eye look, those colors really brought out the green in your eyes. Like, what do you consider you have hazel eyes or brown? Because I see more, like, look in that mirror. I see specks of green come out.
I mean, I think on a good day, I can have some green.
There you go. This is a good day. This is a good day.
This is a very good day.
Makeup. So
I
this
like
is
the lash conditioner because I feel like it speeds things up. Like, it makes the mascara go on super quick.
And I feel like if you have a mascara that you feel like flakes, that it helps it not to flake. This is the longest lash mascara in black ice that I'm using. This is like a little baby, but listen here, I've got the full size of here. So longest lash in black ice. Now,
I like the tube. I like that it comes in a tube.
And I did not even think about this. I don't know who I was watching that said this, but it makes so much sense that it's a squeezy tube. So when you get down to the very end, you squeeze it and it gets the product onto the brush. Like, it was like a total duh moment. I'm like, I just thought that y'all were like trying to be a little bit different and cute, but I'm like, oh no, there's like a reason for that. Like, that's awesome. Okay, so I am going to finish her off with a little bit of a spray before we do lips. And I'm going to be using the one that she has in her makeup stash. I'm going to have her tell us why she likes this one. This is the Balance Hydration Spray. So is there a reason that you chose this one versus anything else? No?
Maybe the name.
There you go. So, Mike, what's the difference between this and
So yeah, there are four different hydration sprays, and each one serves their purpose. Balance actually helps to balance out oil production throughout the day. So if you have oily skin, Balance is a hydration spray you want to use. D2O is our hydration spray. So if you have dry skin, D2O really helps to not just provide some moisture, but also reduce any irritation you may have, especially if you do like a micro needling or any type of chemical peel, anything like that. D2O is great. Palm mist is excellent for dry skin, and for if you're outdoors and you need antioxidant coverage, palm mist is excellent for that. And then lemongrass love is for everybody. Combination
That smells
skin.
so good.
Yeah, that's my favorite smell. But I use all of them. So if I have to do anything for my face, it's hydration, it's balance. If I have irritation, so I get mosquito bites, and I use D2O for that.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh!
Really?
You spray it on your legs. Well, my legs, because I'm always in shorts during summer because I'm in Texas. So I go outside
to prevent mosquitoes, or to help it after you get bit?
To help it after I get bit. It cuts the irritation in half, and I'm the mosquito person.
Oh, my daughter is like, they flock to her, so that's good to know.
That's me.
D2O really helps.
That's good to know.
See, I've taken the lemongrass and sprayed it all over me before because supposedly that's supposed to make the mosquitoes not.
Well, even that, it could be used as like a room spray.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells so good. Okay, so for lips is the last thing that we're going to do. I'm going to take that same eyeliner lip pencil that we used. Now, yes, you can use a lip pencil on your eyes. If I were to use this on her lips first, I would have wanted to go in and spritz it with some alcohol before I put it on her eyes. I know it's the same person, but we carry different bacteria in different places. So that's the only thing that I would tell you if you are mixing the two. But since we did the eyes first, she's fine just to use this on her lips. So this is the Aubergine shade. This is one of the newer colors that they just came out with. And I'm going to be using, as I put this on, I'm going to kind of use a brush to smudge it in because I don't like a really harsh line. I'm going to be using one of the lip fixations, which I've talked about before, absolutely loving. And I wanted to use this color for one of two reasons. Because I love it, and also because it's part of a new set that they just launched. It's like available, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the, what's it called?
Lip kit.
Yeah, it's just a
lip kit.
Lip kit.
And it comes with 3 of the lip fixations. Really cute packaging. So see, you've got 3. You have Blissed Out, Obsession, and Fascination. So I'll show you 2 first. And then Instagram. Isn't that a cute little kit?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is Blissed Out that I'm going to use. And I'm going to show you a way. I have all 12 of these shades in my professional kit. And it is basically all I use on brides anymore because they legit stay on all day. There is a little bit of a trick that I have found anyways in using them.
I have coffee breath.
Yeah,
sorry.
There's no telling. I have taco breath. She gets the best breakfast tacos.
I have taco and coffee breath.
Okay, what were you saying, Mike? I'm sorry.
Oh, just that the lip kits are great because it's buy 2 get 1 free.
Yes, I knew there was some kind of like monetary savings.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't know exactly what. Okay, so with this, I like to put it on in a thin layer. And then I like to let it set for like 30 seconds. Okay, so rub together for me. And this is like, okay, if you've ever made a cake, this is like the crumb coat. So basically it's putting it on there. I'm getting this nice even first layer to get me ready for the true layer. I feel like these come on a little bit sheer, and they can maybe blend out a little bit sheer when you first use them. So I feel like to get that super long lasting color, 2 layers is going to be it. Now you don't have to use a lip brush. These come with a really nice doe foot applicator, but even with that, I feel like 2 layers is good. So
do we asking about light pink? I think this is a light pink Cherish.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I do like Cherish.
And it comes on real sheer too. I think that's the lightest pink color.
And it's got a little bit of a sheen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of them are more matte. Like this one is more matte. It doesn't really have a sheen to it. And other ones have that kind of like built-in sheen. So do we have any more questions? Because this is it, y'all. Once I get this second layer on, we are done.
Smoke under eye. Somebody says smoke under eye. Somebody says, Courtney, your skin is gold.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's really not the best day, but YouTube is getting the real look here of the skin.
Well, but I think it also shows how the products, even though it looked like I used a lot of stuff on her face, it doesn't look like she has a lot of stuff on her face. It's all about really small layers. Less is best. Like, don't just slap it on because it's fun to play with makeup. I know that it, like, the temptation is there, and I've done it many, many times. But I feel like if you start less and then go from there, you're going to have a more natural look, regardless of if you have 50 different layers on. If you do really thin layers, then that's kind of the trick. And then all I'm going to do is go back in.
We're gonna have to go somewhere, Mandy.
I know. we do have a lunch, so they're gonna be like, "Ooh, who's this foxy lady? Who's this celebrity coming in?"
I'm like, I'm gonna take 500 photos.
Stunning look.
Isn't that color pretty? I love that color. Goes good with the soft eyes that we've got going, but it still accentuates the color. I wish the color came across more on.
The bronze on the forehead looks amazing. Beachy vibe.
Yes, which is like my aesthetic. I want everybody to look like they just got off the beach.
Me too.
I don't want them to look like they have caked on makeup, but just super glowy. Another reason I didn't want to set a ton of her face, because I wanted that glow to come through. I didn't want to mattify anything. So look at
a little YouTube look. Instagram. It looks good, Mandy.
Yay.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. I didn't really talk through the brows because we were talking about products that we loved, but really all I did was I used this brow pencil. I put them up, filled in where I needed to, and then I put the hairs down to make sure that I had the line filled in at the top, and then I put them back up. We don't have any of the brow gel here. I don't think. Do you have the brow gel over in that stash? The only thing that I would do if I had it was put some brow gel. I wouldn't even use tinted on her. They have tinted colors. I would just use the clear just to kind of set those brows in place, because when you've got as much hair on your brows as Courtney does, I'm not that blessed. I like to do a super blown out, like pushed up hair look. I kind of like the hairs to be separated and makes it look fuller, and a brow gel is going to help that stay in place. So Jane definitely has one. We just don't have one with us. So thank you, Laura. Thank you, Tanya. I can't read Instagram. Y'all, I'm feeling my 40s already.
It's beautiful. Wow. Vacay anyone? Yes. Great job. Beautiful.
Okay. Yay.
Yay. All right. Well, thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you for joining. I will try. I don't know when it's going to be, but I will try to put all the products that I used in the description box once I figure out how to upload this and save it. So that you can come back to use it. And then I have a coupon code for Jane and Mandy20. So you'll be able to get 20% off of all and any of the products that we use today and more.
And we're going to be putting a lip fixation, I think it is, one of the lip product samples in all of the orders for the next 24 hours too.
Yay. Okay.
All right.
Bye. Thank y'all so much for joining. Let's see if we can figure out how to end this.
I don't know. Okay. Let's see if they give you one shot to download the video.